This recording was originally designed as a series of 3 skits. As a video, it's harder to accomplish. So consider this like the taping of a live stage play, with the camera set up in the rows of seats actually recording the stage, not a reimagined version of a play for film. It was a lot of fun to develop and even more fun to give. I hope you enjoy it. Here we go. Leveraging the myth that hardcore DITA devotees speak of DITA in hushed and reverent voices, this session is less of a traditional presentation than it is a one-woman skit. Join me as I spread the word and bring you the wisdom of Guru D. Through the teachings of Guru D, you too can learn to fight book brain and love topic-based authoring. My name is Elizabeth Fraley. This is who I am. There's a personal inventory technique where you're supposed to come up with 3 words. You make lists of words and roll them up into one. I rolled up into 4. These are the 4 words that describe me. Scientist. I am a computer scientist. I have a BA in computer science. I also have an MA and BA in English. I'm a researcher, an experimenter. I read over 200 books a year and thousands of articles, blogs, news, and mailing lists every year. I lurk everywhere. But I am a researcher. I may not know the answer, but I always know where to find it, or at least a solid lead to it. I know who to ask, how to locate it, like the librarian behind the research desk at a library, and like a good scientist, I experiment. That same knack for research means I invest in learning and the learning of my customers and communities. I don't really like the word investor. It's got that weird Wall Street vibe, but for me, it's about investing in our community and investing in learning. Our staff donates 20% of our time to community projects. I sit on the boards and volunteer for 3 nonprofits, one of which I started. That's TC Camp, the first unconference for technical communications community. I'm always searching for new ways to increase the knowledge of the professionals in the communities I serve. I launched a web series, the TC Dojo. It's free and open to the public, and all the recordings are posted to YouTube. We know that you want to learn, and so do we. We know that we all learn best when we invest in our people, our customers, and our communities, especially when we do it in a frugal way. I wanted frugal, but everyone tells me that it just doesn't give off the right vibe. They said use economist, you take an economical approach to your customers' money. And they're right, we are very conservative in spending money that our customers have entrusted to us. Sure, we could do the whole project, throw it over the fence, and tell our customers to come back when they want to change, and don't forget to bring your pocketbook. But it's just not who we are. We train them constantly to take over what we've done. We tell them the why behind why we did something, the reasoning, so they grow in their capability. For us, it's all about empowerment and enabling. In 2016, I wrote and gave away an ebook about Oxygen XML Editor, a tool I've used for 16 years. I gave it away because the knowledge I gained was too huge to hoard. I enable the professionals around me. TC Camp, that nonprofit unconference I started, is a free day. The TC Dojo Conclave we launched in 2017, a mastermind group designed to help technical communications professionals specifically grow their professional and authoritative skills, has a very low entrance fee because we know that, here's that economical enabler coming back again, anyone going out on their own or trying to grow their skills so they can advance their company doesn't have a lot of extra money or extra time to spend. TechCom is so often overlooked for job advancement training that I realized I could help that. These are the 3 books I published in 2016. The story behind why I wrote them is a pretty good one. You can read that, the URL at the bottom, One Day Publishing at singlesourcing.com if you're interested. Now, before we can begin, at an STC summit, Denise Jacobs talked about how she started doing improv as a way to stoke creativity. When you're dealing with others and trying to assist them in adopting topic-based structured authoring, you're going to need to be creative. If only so it's easier to step outside the patterns of behavior that both you and they have well established. To that end, I need some volunteers. Don't worry, I've got some scripts for you. You're not totally out on your own. And I'll give you your cues. We're all friends here. We all know you're reading from a script, so there's nothing too embarrassing, I promise. Who's going to take a chance? Now join me, brothers and sisters. When we adopt the teachings of Guru D, we can improve DITA adoption for ourselves, for our organizations, and to the benefit of our customers worldwide. I've broken this presentation into 3 themed segments to help solidify the wisdom of Guru D in your mind and in your every breath. How many here are already using DITA? Was the path difficult? How was the adoption in your group? How many struggle when it comes down to doing it? Too often, people come to Guru D in a panic. They understand topic-based structured authoring. They understand why reuse is good. They understand the benefits behind trying to rework their content. But when they sit down to actually do it, they're paralyzed. The fear takes root and they panic. They're alone. They want someone to tell them what to do, to give them hard and fast rules. They want specifics when what they have is an architecture, a process, a new way of thinking about what they do every day. They're stuck. They're the victim of Bookbrain. They're addicts. They need your help because when they don't get help, they give up. Volunteer number 1. You will read Guru D. I will play the writer. Just read the script. By the way, these were real conversations. Guru D. I'm curious as to why you have 15 sections in this topic. Writer. It was too hard to create separate topics, so I just put all that content in one instead. You have to watch for the signs that indicate potential opportunities to bring enlightenment to others. We've all seen them. These are only a few of the signs. Who else here has come up against a book brain? What signs have you seen? You must join us as we fight against Bookbrain wherever we find it. Hello everyone, and welcome to the meeting. I'm glad to see everyone here. Lee asked me to lead off tonight. I really want to thank you all for coming. If you're here, you recognize the book brain in yourself and have made a commitment to improve your life and accept these 12 steps. We admit that we are powerless over how our customers digest our content. We've come to believe that topic-based authoring can restore our confidence and ease our discomfort. We've made the decision to surrender to minimalist writing strategies and our customers' needs as we understand them. We've made a searching and fearless inventory of our content, admitted to ourselves and to our coworkers the exact nature of the problem content that we created. We are entirely ready to face the defects in our technical content. We humbly ask our peers and our customers to provide honest feedback. We've made a list of all mixed content and become willing to reauthor them all. We've made amends by rewriting, redesigning, and re-architecting our content wherever possible, except when to do so would make our customers' tasks more difficult. We've continued to reevaluate our content, and when we found a way to improve it, we have promptly admitted it. We've sought through deep evaluation to improve our conscious creation of good topics, striving to have one topic answer one question well. And having had this spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, we carry the message of the book brain and practice these principles wherever we create content. Does anyone want to share? Hi, I'm Sylvia, but everybody calls me Silo. I'm a book brain. I'm celebrating my anniversary tonight. My people couldn't be here tonight. I left a trail of fire behind me. Time is going to make it right with them, I guess. Still have to make it right with myself. A couple of weeks ago, I was in Annapolis visiting the home office. I work from home most of the time. Middle of the afternoon, after a marathon day of meetings, I took a walk down near the harbor right as the sun was going down. You know how it is that time of day, sun throwing shadows and all. Got me to thinking about when I was young and working on military docs. Long-lived content with months, sometimes years to get my work done. The language, the graphics, the detail. That goes hand in hand with military content, right? No page limit, only print documents. Found myself thinking, I know where this is going. I had a moment where, I was wanting to feel that way again. And I remember what Lee said. If that feeling ever comes, call up a group member and talk. First thing, I called Keith up. He's my sponsor and all. Turns out he's at a baseball game with his kid. So I went to the community resources, wrote a few news group posts, left a couple of blog post comments. Nobody got back to me. Anyway, I went to the office and focused on writing clear, focused topics. I knew if I didn't, I wouldn't get that good feeling back. I was daydreaming, right? Thinking on that made me smile. But now it's not so bad like it was. Ain't no reason to hold on to shame or grief as long as you make room for other things too. Thank you for listening. Thank you for letting me share. Is there anyone else who wants to share? Where's volunteer number 3? Just read the script. And remember, we're all friends. Volunteer number 2, Rob. Hi, I'm Rob. I'm a book brain. I gave myself all these little rules about what I wouldn't do. Like I told myself I'd do a lot of stuff in my documents, but I wouldn't do that. I swore I would never put 2 titles in a row without any content between them. So after I'm creating empty heads, I thought, well, this isn't so bad. So I make some more rules for myself. What's so bad about stem sentences? I'm never going to mix conceptual and procedural content. And well, let's just say there's certain things I told myself I would never do. You know what my book brain did to my rules, right? Yeah. Whatever it is you tell yourself you won't do in your content, you're pretty much making a list of everything you will do as soon as you're under pressure and your inner book brain tells you to. I mean, I'd create whole topics that were essentially empty content just to balance out the document, or make sure I had at least 3 bullets in a list, or have 2 subsections. I mean, if you're going to have any, you can't have just one, right? Forget what the content dictates. Anyway, I want to thank you all for letting me share. Where's volunteer number 3? Just read the script. Volunteer number 3, Booksy. You know who I am, Booksy. I'm a book brain, but I've been writing well-written topics for 15 months come Thursday. I used to be so verbose. I used to love to give detailed background history to everyone, every time, even when writing simple tasks. I used to love to explain things. I'm not ready to talk about this right now. Is there anyone else who wants to share? Where's volunteer number 4? You play Guru D, I'll play the writer. Just read the script. And by the way, these were real conversations. Guru D. You've got a lot of content in this context. Writer. Well, I wanted to be sure they all knew the concepts before they did the tasks. When the goal is good topics, where one topic answers one question well, you can't just puke all over the page. The linchpin is that the transition from desktop publishing to structured authoring is not the tools. The uninitiated think it is, but it's a process. Seasoned technical writers are really, really good at winging it in desktop publishing. Most do not do a lot of upfront planning. They just brain dump. Topic-based authoring is all about planning the work and executing the plan, or fighting habit, training that's 12 to 16 years in the making. People suffering from book brain need your support. They need you to share your vulnerability as much as they need to hear about your success. And we must reach out to others when we are at risk. If there's anyone out there who sees the bottom coming up at them, you're not alone. Reach out. I'm here to talk sense. I don't care who you are, what you've done, or who you've done it to. If you're here, so am I. This is the way recovery happens. We must reach out to those most at risk. We all struggle in our journey to enlightenment. Guru D says that we must teach the lost, the last, the lonely, the broken sinners, and aspiring saints. By working through the pain side by side with others, we will be transformed. You have to value learning as a goal, even when it involves hard work or initial errors. None of us get things right the first time. That's why we strive for continuous improvement, even to keep our current level of conditioning. We must reevaluate our content, reevaluate what we know to be true. One of our customers had a team that was, they were afraid to go to DITA, and they insisted they didn't need it. So they went to DocBook. And they resisted changing their thinking and trying to avoid every possible way to transition from what they had always known and always done. Their manager, responding, seeing what the fear his people were going through, put on their calendar every day, or at least a couple of days during the week, training time. Time for them to stop, to learn, to get comfortable. And eventually, the team came along and said, well, we want to be able to do this. And our answer to them was, well, that requires DITA. You want to do that? You have to do DITA. You can't do that with DocBook. And enough of those things happened as they learned and became comfortable and continued learning that eventually they went to DITA and the decision was all theirs to do. Where's volunteer number 5? You're going to play Guru D and I'll play the writer. Just read the script. By the way, these are real conversations. Guru D. We've talked about not using stem sentences. For example, follow these tasks to do this procedure. And yet, you still have them all over this content. Writer. Well, I can't just have a heading and a list of task links. Guru D. Yes, you can. We really want to get away from pointing out the obvious. Did you know that your brain becomes larger and denser with neural tissue when you practice and learn new skills? That the process of growing new nerve cells, or neurons, speeds up when learning is occurring? Did you also know that the development of those neurons depends on the stimulation of challenge and learning? It is critical to face challenging material and be motivated to apply effort and take an active role in learning. You have to believe in the efficacy of effort. First, know that you can learn and master new material up to standard. We design our content for our users from this very perspective. We know that users shouldn't need to be experienced with the product to find the help they need. We know that we must focus on information required to do what they need to do so they can get to it. It is imperative that good topic writers grow into the right semantic markup. Don't be distracted. This is one of the biggest fears of content writers, but it comes out as if it is an outside fear. Our customers won't like it. Our customers expect things to be the way they are. This is the call of the book brain. The fear that you're already an expert, that you'll never be able to deliver the standard and quality you do now if you have to go through change. Volunteer number 6. You play Guru D, I'll play the writer, just read the script. By the way, these were real conversations. Guru D. I'm curious as to why you wrapped bold around the entries in the first row of your table. Writer. I had to indicate those were column headers. Guru D. And you didn't use T-head because... It is not sufficient just to barf into a topic or set of topics and expect it to be usable, useful content. You really have to look at your existing content to see if moving to structured content, topic-based authoring is worth it or even necessary. Work through your content when you do your searching inventory. You remember the one we talked about in the BA meeting. Sort your content into piles. It is okay to identify something as too hard, so you can sort it out and continue the inventory. Over time, some things don't need explanation anymore. IP address, for example. There's a story from one of our customers who they were documenting security features on their product. And for them, security meant access control lists, permissions, power of administrator versus end users. But when they went looking at the content from their customer's point of view and they talked to some of them and to the support folks, people would search for security, meaning they were trying to figure out how to set up the security cameras outside the building. Totally different view of what it is the person is trying to do and how they're looking at the content, right? We don't need to explain what an IP address is anymore. Last 1 year for STC judging the document judging contest, I came across a document in 2016 that was explaining what a shortcut on a Windows desktop was for and how to launch an application by double clicking on the shortcut. Windows has been out for 30 years. Why are we explaining something that everybody already knows? Right? Your content can start fishing that stuff out. You can start deleting that stuff because it's not as important as it once was. There are things that all your customers do know now, and you're not taking it for granted. You can develop effort-based strategies to work hard and spend more time on the subject instead of just giving up. DITA maps, for example. We know about maps for deliverables, but you can also have mini-maps or sub-maps. Use maps to mimic a subject area, not a whole functional area, but a larger process. For example, let's say we're setting up a firewall sandwich. There are new concepts, there are several tasks. It's not a simple topic. Advanced DITA users know maps can be used to develop advanced content strategy. Only novices equate maps with deliverables. Volunteer number 7. You play Guru D, I'll play the writer, just read the script. By the way, these were real conversations. Guru D. I'm curious as to why you don't have concept topics for this information. Writer. I do. It's the same information in both places. Train, train, train. This should be your mantra. There are always books to buy, always classes to take. There are resources everywhere. Who's read a book in the last 6 months that helped you do your job better? How many have taken a class recently or watched a video? Are you training as hard as you could be? You don't have to become an ultimate mutter. He's starting here with kids. Take the steps. Any of these signs can mean you're not keeping current, that you're not working as hard as you can. You're getting comfortable again. That's when you let the book brain start to regain ground in your mind. The uninitiated will ask, but how do I organize all of these pieces? To them I say, make me good Legos and I can build anything I want. If you don't have good topics, you can't build anything. You can't build a dock without a plan. You can't build a house without a blueprint. The next question is always, well, how will they know what comes next? The only answer is to challenge the underlying assumptions in the question. Who's they? You've been doing this for a long time, organizing in a linear fashion. Now you have to think about the process. Work out the steps, put them in the map, then go look at it. If you're a Martian, what do you need to know and do? It's hard to get out of your comfort zone. People get clever in maps. You'll see 6 layers of nesting or else something completely flat. Then they ask, well, why don't I have my task summary links? Everything's on the first level. Well, doesn't it know? For it to know, you have to have a parent-child structure. Writers want the control of the map but don't often know how to use it to their advantage. By far, the least troublesome deliverables and the easiest to repackage are those built entirely from mini-maps. So here's another story. At F5, they have 800 mini-maps, 80 deliverables. Some of them are one-to-one single subject deliverables. Some are high touch and some are fairly static. The content is what dictates it all. How do you get started? Find an easy mark. Pick any one of the 7 quality characteristics and improve what's written. Strive for continuous improvement. Rinse, repeat, and continue to work the content. Volunteer number 8. You're going to play Guru D and I'll play the writer. Just read the script. By the way, these were real conversations. Guru D. I'm curious as to why you have empty elements. Writer. What's an element? Guru D. The tags, like paragraph in this concept. Writer. Oh, I didn't like the way the content looked in PDF, so I just added those to add space to the page. Find a buddy who can work with you. Not your manager. The nature of the relationship means that some questions will never get asked. The risk is too great. Instead, find a mentor, someone who will help you in confidence. Stop thinking in ownership terms. That's someone else's. I can't touch that. Yes, you can. Remember, you need to make that change for your audience. The system will track changes and you can't blow anything up. Volunteer number 9. You play Guru D, I'll play the writer, just read the script. By the way, these were real conversations. Guru D. How do I know these 3 paragraphs make up a section not related to the previous paragraphs? Writer. You just read them. Change the way you think about your content. Even the smallest changes can make a big difference. Talk to people. Identify parts of the project that excite you and do more of that. Better still, challenge yourself and take on a task that seems not quite right up your alley. It's all in how you approach the task. Through learning, we are drawn to true enlightenment, and Guru D is here to help. We've all felt the pull of the book brain. We've all had to train ourselves to think in topics. We've had to adopt a new way of thinking or force ourselves into new patterns. Only you can decide whether you want to give DITA and topic-based authoring your best effort. Even the experts talk like adopting DITA is a transformative experience, that it requires you to travel a path to enlightenment. This is a quote from Elliot Kimber's DITA for Practitioners. He says, it's a truly transformative experience. Works better than anything, makes me so much more effective than ever before. Are you ready to face your inner book brain? Are you ready to join the cult of DITA? At the end of this presentation, we initiated new followers of Guru D. Each cult member got one of these buttons. These buttons continue to be rare. You can only get one if you attend a live delivery of this presentation or select other presentations given by me and at my sole discretion. Thank you for attending. Single Sourcing Solutions, we work to do mentoring and training. We teach people to do as we do, not train to learn a product or a technique. We're doers, not trainers. If you need a mentor or you need a buddy, remember you're not alone. Reach out. Guru D is here whenever you need to talk, at your convenience and focused on you. Get advice, talk architecture, talk about your content, and find ways to structure it better. Talk when you feel like Bookbrain is pulling you down. Talk when you see the bottom coming up at you. Talk it out with a DITA expert in confidence. Book an appointment at techcom.guru anytime you need to talk. Thank you.